Do you ever find that you suddenly hear the sound of Discord, look it up, and see that your favorite friend, besides sharing cool movies, is recommending a fun game and you decide to check it out? That's how I stumbled upon Menace from the Deep, which, according to Steam, is a card game set in a Lovecraftian universe. It looked promising, and as a fan of Lovecraft, I knew what kind of atmosphere to expect from this game. I've downloaded it, installed, and launched. Immediately after clicking the play button, I was slightly confused. A choice between custom game and story mode? Am I a wimp or something? Interestingly, before I launched this game, I knew it would be a strictly card game and nothing else. Yet when I saw story mode, for some reason it awakened a huge desire in me to uncover the mysterious, horror-filled story that would crush me into my seat and keep me awake at night. Although at first I believed that this would happen, after a few hours of gameplay I realized that the game narrative is merely a small addition to the game itself, and while it's not particularly outstanding, it does add a bit of atmosphere to the gameplay. Speaking of which, the gameplay is as engrossing as quicksand. After a small tutorial, we are shown the plans for expanding our, let's call it a base. Here, we will be able to spend our hard-earned resources to gain various bonuses for the next expedition. And by hard-earned, I mean stolen. Who pays so much for wood? The first character we unlock is the private detective, along with his loyal companion. Later, we will gain access to the professor, who, by the way, has become my favorite character, so expect him to be primarily on screen from now on, and the cultist. While the detective is okay and I very much love the professor, cultist seemed a bit strange to me. Perhaps he's difficult at first, or maybe I just got brain rot and stopped reading the descriptions of his mechanics and card with comprehension, which led to an almost immediate death in the first battle. After choosing a character and their deck, we can embark on a journey, which is very interestingly constructed. We start with 3 travel decks, from which we choose one card representing an event we will encounter on our journey while driving our car. It could be a fight with locals, a battle with monsters, visiting a motel, a church, a warehouse where you can steal resources, or we might stop at a gas station to buy some fuel. You don't want to know what happens when you run out of fuel. However, I won't review all the cards. Have fun exploring. After filling in all the fields with the cards, we face off against one of the bosses. At the beginning of the game, we have no idea who we will be fighting, but over the time we will immediately recognize the final boss, because his enormous terrifying silhouette looms in the background throughout our journey. The gameplay part for fighting itself is excellently balanced. We start as nobody with access to only a few cards, items and relics, but with each expedition we unlock more and more. To be honest, I've been playing this game for over 30 hours and I still unlock between 4 to 8 items or relics after each expedition, so I must admit there are a lot of them. Interestingly, not all pertain to combat mechanics, but some affect, for example, our journey. We can increase the number of travel decks or at navigation point, allowing us to pick at the cards hidden under the top card of each deck. Thus, the more things we unlock, the more interesting the game becomes, and the more interesting it becomes, the harder it is to stop playing. As for the combat and how it looks, it doesn't differ that much from a title like Slay the Spire. We have our character on the left side, enemies on the right. Each turn we draw X cards, and with X energy we try to kill them before they kill us. Simple as that. However, to make it not so simple, we have various modifiers in the form of relics, which can be combined into more powerful versions after gathering a suitable set. equipment, consumables, and skills, or rather abilities. The abilities are quite cool, but they cost us perception points. On top of that, we now not only care about our health bar, but also sanity bar. We don't want to go insane now, do we? Interestingly, we also have the option to fight alongside companions, which is a very interesting feature, but can complicate matters even further. This time, however, in a slightly negative way. I mean, look at this. Tell me who attacks whom and when. Not very clear, right? Graphics and music. Well, you see how it is. Game might initially resemble some Flash games, but I quickly got used to it, and honestly, it fits very well. It's not groundbreaking, but it certainly captures the dark atmosphere of Cthulhu shenanigans effectively. The sound is also good, the music perfectly matches the visuals of the game, although, let's be honest, sooner or later it will be muted in favor for Spotify or YouTube. Overall, I would give this game a rating of, I don't know, 8 out of 10, and encourage all of you to embark on a journey through Innsmouth. But before you do, remember, very few come back from this expedition alive.